This is Amateur Logic, episode 104 for May 15th, 2017. This episode of Amateur Logic was brought to you by MFJ, the world leaders in ham radio accessories at MFJEnterprises.com, and by ICOM. Enter the Hams to Japan sweepstakes today at ICOMAmerica.com/H2JA. Hi, welcome to Amateur Logic, episode 104. I'm George.
I'm Tommy.
I'm Peter.
I'm Emile.
And it's what? It's
good to be back with you.
It is, and we got a great show lined up for you tonight. A lot of interesting things, some a little bit different than usual. Tommy, how have you been?
I've been doing pretty good. This month I kind of stumbled across a cool little piece of software. I thought I might share it with everybody.
Cool. Well, I played with a new antenna. Actually, it's been around, I don't know, maybe not quite a year yet, but it's just gone through some improvements, and I've got one here.
Oh, cool.
And I wanted to show you a little bit about it. Peter, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. I've been doing some repairs to my BitX 40, or rather an upgrade, which you'll see a little bit of later. And I'm very pleased with the results.
Oh, neat.
All right, Emile, how are things down in the swamp?
Well, things are heating up down in the swamp. It's getting hot down here, and I hooked up with a fellow ham friend of mine, and we've been working in the digital modes.
Cool.
That's always fun.
That is. And, you know, I played a little bit of digital this week. Just a little bit, not much. Yeah. You know, I don't want to jump in it too quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, my segment's got to do with some digital, too, so it's going to be a digital night.
Yeah. I think you're right. It does, doesn't it? Peter, you've got something you want to tell us about here, don't you?
Yes, I got sent a link to to some news about a radio station that's testing on shortwave. It's a low-power shortwave station around about 5 megahertz, and it's just testing. The owner has been having Stefano has been having some antenna problems. So if you don't hear it, that could be the reason. But well worth checking out.
Okay, cool. What was that frequency again?
I think from memory it was 5025 kilohertz.
So it's not what it says on the screen there.
5045 is what's on the screen.
45. Apologies, sorry.
Well, that's cool. Low power shortwave station.
Yeah.
Can you just put those on there, Peter, or do you do need a license for that, don't you?
Ordinarily, I did. When I went to the link, I did read that because it was a news article that he was described as a licensed shortwave operator.
So your segment tonight, you did a BitX 40 project here recently, and you're changing it. What are you doing?
Well, you know, the original project is just to sort of get you started. And just recap, the project comes from India. It's a low-cost 40-meter transceiver. But, you know, you do need to do a little bit further work once you've built it to kind of improve it. Now, one thing that's happened is that since I got my first kit, the producer of the kit has now included a digital tuning. So there's a digital tuner add-on for the original kit that I got. And so I ordered this, but it now comes standard with the kit when you order the kit, which costs $9 US. So this is about the upgrade that I did. Hello and welcome once again. This month I'm going to upgrade my BitX 40 transceiver and add digital tuning. But first, a new addition to my ham shack. My old DXCC world map was a little out of date and didn't feature some new countries like South Sudan. So I hunted around on the internet and found this map, which I imported from Bulgaria. It's quite colourful and appears to be up to date. Let's now turn to the BitX40 and recap a little bit from my first build segment. The BitX40 is a partially assembled 40 metre transceiver kit that comes from India. Assembling the kit is very easy, and as you can see, I got as far as assembling the kit and doing some tests. I found though that the frequency of the transceiver tended to drift, and also that the transmitted audio was a bit rough. In today's segment, I'm going to fix the first problem, namely the frequency stability. I ordered an upgrade kit which will give the radio digital tuning. The good news is that the Arduino digital tuner now comes standard with the kit, yet the price is just US $59, which is amazing. Let's now have a look at the upgrade kit and what was supplied. First up, a receipt, and we've got a list of the box contents. Well, we've got a Arduino board, which comes assembled, which is handy. It should be fairly easy to put in. And then we've got a series of connectors, a 2, 5 and 8 pin connector, 4 brass standoffs with screw and nut for mounting the BitX board and the Arduino. That's good. And then a 1x T56 toroid wound with 50 turns. That's there. And a 1x 0.1 microfarad capacitor, which I'm not sure if I can see that in here. I'll assume it's in here. Why those latter two have been supplied, I'm not quite sure, but oh, there it is. There's the small capacitor. Yeah, so the only thing is they didn't actually supply any instructions on how to upgrade the radio. So I'm going to have to hunt around on the internet and see if I can find some instructions. I've now removed the front panel from the transceiver, and as you can see, I've left some space here to put to mount the LCD display at a later date. That will sit about there. I'll try to move it over as far to the right as possible in order not to interfere with this potentiometer here. I just need to cut an appropriate slot, this size here. So I'll measure that up and then cut a slot here. The other thing to note is that the LCD panel goes this way up with all the pins at the top. Let's now have a look at my handiwork. I changed my mind and I decided to put the LCD panel more central. It gives me a little bit more room. So I cut a rectangle out and also drilled 4 small holes for these little bolts, as well as drilled another hole here for this on-off button / volume knob. I then moved the main board back 0.5 centimetre to give me a little bit more room. Now, how's this LCD panel, or rather Arduino, held in place? Well, the LCD panel slides onto these 4 bolts, and then I've screwed these standoffs onto that. Then this connector here plugs into the back of the LCD panel. That's in turn connected to the second board, which also slides onto the standoffs. So I just need to add 4 small nuts and everything will be held in place. I went to the BitX forums to seek some advice as to which components to remove, given that I was no longer using analog tuning but digital tuning. According to Farhan, I need to remove this toroid here, which is L4, and he also recommends removing capacitors C91 and C92. So I'll do that now. This is the main board of the BitX40, and this is its DDS connector, which goes in here. This joins the Arduino to the main board. The instructions say to solder the brown wire of the Arduino's 5-pin connector to the black wire of the BitX's DDS connector. Then solder the red wire of the Arduino's 5-pin connector to the brown wire of the BitX's DDS connector. Now, the brown wire of the Arduino's 5-pin connector does not connect to the brown wire of the BitX's DDS connector. Once you've done that, you can solder the black wire from here to the DC power socket on the earth side, and also solder the orange wire to the DC power switch on the volume control. This is the BitX40's volume control. When I first wired up the radio, I made a major mistake. I failed to route positive power, or the positive leads, or various positive leads that are connected around the circuit, through this switch at the back. I just left that blank and wired it straight to the external connector. So I didn't realise it, but my power was always on, but I didn't notice it because when I turned the volume knob up, the sound came up normally. So what I've redone is I've routed all the positive leads through this switch, and then the other side of the switch goes through to the external connector. What you're hearing there on this little radio is a special event station from the Rotary Foundation. And just by the way, you can actually receive them or talk to them up until about May the 26th. And special QSL cards will be printed and sent on completion of the activity. So that's a worthwhile special event station to try and work. As you can hear, the reception's quite good. I compared the dial frequency of that station with the dial frequency on my IC751, and it shows that the frequency readout is absolutely spot on. So the Arduino must have come pre-tuned. Now, if you have to retune the Arduino, there are instructions on the website. Now, I'm going to show you how the tuning works. Pretty stock standard. You move the tuning knob clockwise and it goes up in frequency, and you go the other way, it goes down in frequency. And it's quite precise and quite stable in contrast to what it was before. However, here's a little trick. When you get near the end of the tuning range, it immediately starts to automatically increment by 10 kilohertz steps. And it's going up, and when you go the other way, once you go far enough, it'll start dropping in 10 kilohertz steps. It's a little unusual, but there you go. I think it's actually a very sensible way to use the tuning potentiometer, because the tuning potentiometer will tune across a narrow range, and then if you've got to move to another part of the band, well, you just turn it fully clockwise or fully anti-clockwise. So all in all, this has been a great build, and I have to say, for $59 with the Arduino, this is exceptional value. I thought the radio was good before, but it's even better now. However, at this stage, I'm not going to do a transceiver test because the transmit audio is still a bit rough. But I am in the future episode going to go and mod that. I'll try to find a modification that will improve the transmit audio, and I'll try to build in a stock standard microphone. But for that, you'll have to wait for a future segment. But as I said, I do recommend this BitX40 transceiver very much. Very easy to build and a lot of fun.
Pretty worthwhile project there, Peter. Nice upgrade.
Oh, look, it's taken a good radio and made it really great now. A really fun radio to use. But as I said, at this stage, it's still got the little electric microphone, which is just impractical. So I really need to have a proper microphone with a proper push-to-talk button.
Ah, cool. Okay.
I'm just curious. Well, it's going to be Australian dollars, so I have to convert it. But like, what have you have total in that whole kit there now? About that's fairly inexpensive to get into, isn't it?
Well, as I said, the total cost of the kit, right, for everything that I've done today, is $59 US, and that's postage paid.
Wow. Well, that's dirt cheap. It looks like a lot of fun for $59 too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I will put one qualification on that, in that the microphone that they supply is a tiny electric microphone, and when you actually test it on air, you'll hear that the audio sounds a little bit rough. So, there's a need to improve that end of things. I think people would be prepared to pay an extra $10 or $15 if they included a cheap Chinese microphone that would do the job. It would make it much more usable.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Well, nice project.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Speaking of projects, I've got an email here that came from Aaron Scott, K5ATG, and he said, "Hey George, I have a question. I have an Arduino device that runs off a 9-volt battery. Is there a way to reduce the 13.8 volts coming out of my power supply to supply the 9 volts to the Arduino. And yes, Aaron, there is. And actually, I think maybe I emailed you the wrong answer when I
Oops,
when
hope
I
you
sent
didn't
an
go
email
do
on
it.
this. I was thinking of the Arduino and needing 5 volts. So I told him to check out the LM7805. If you want it to be 9 volts, it'd be the LM7809.
Oh yeah.
Well, there's a couple of different options you can take there. You can use that chip, which is a traditional analog voltage regulator. You know, they've been around for a number of years now. The one on the left there, very simple to connect. You just need that, couple of capacitors, and
The other
you're
one
good to
looks
go.
very familiar.
The other one, this one is an LM2596. That's an adjustable voltage regulator on the right-hand side there. That's one of the newer devices that you can get now. That's a photo of one, but there's a number of them on Amazon and different sources. These are switching power supplies, and where the LM7805 or 7809 will run a little bit warm, that means they're wasting a little power. These newer switcher devices don't do that, so they would be a better option if you're trying to run off battery power.
That's actually the similar, actually maybe the same one that I used in my little project when I was stepping down to 12 volts. That's been probably 6 or 8 months ago, but they're cool little devices. If you look around, you can get them for like 99 cents.
Yeah, they're not much money at all, and it's amazing we can get stuff that cheap.
They're cool. They're pretty handy too.
Yeah. So, Tommy, what are you going to talk about this week, or show us on video?
Yeah, I stumbled across a little piece of software. I didn't even know it was out there, and I just happened to be looking for something for my Thumb DV. You remember that?
Yeah.
And they gave me a Mac at work, and my software that I had for my Windows PC wouldn't work on it, so I was looking for an alternative, and I found one, and it works really great. Some of you may remember the segment I did a while back about my little dongle from Northwest Digital Radio. This is the Thumb DV dongle. They really hit it out of the park with this thing. It's really handy. I keep it in my computer bag a good bit. But I did a segment where I set up some software and I used it on my Windows computer for work while I'm away. But there wasn't any Mac software. Well, my Windows computer died, and they gave me a Mac to replace it with, and so this was out of business for me. Sometimes if it's just not practical to have a handy-talkie sitting around or whatever, listening to it out loud, you can plug this thing in, get on DStar, a little bit more discreetly, and put in a set of earbuds, and you're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and set it up on this desktop computer. I already had it running on my work computer, but I'm going to go ahead and go through this setup. It's so easy. It's pretty much plug and play. I stumbled across a little piece of software called Buster in the App Store, and it's right here. Again, it's free. I've already installed it just to save time. Let's go ahead and plug this up to the USB port on the computer, and let's run Buster. And it comes up. It's a pretty simple little program, not much to it. It's real easy to set up. Let's go through the configuration options. Preferences. We need to put a call sign in 5ZNO, and I'll go ahead and call this Charlie, and we'll say this is Thumb DV on Mac, just for lack of something better to call. You can change the transmit key. I'm just going to leave it at F5. For audio, I have this set to the built-in speaker so you can hear it, and built-in audio codec so my microphone up here will work. Or I'm sorry, the USB codec. And then for vocoder, we need to pick our device and the serial port. It finds it pretty much automatic. This device also supports the Network TV3000. I think George might have one of these, and Mike, our friend Mike Morneau, may have one. But anyway, it supports it. I don't have one to test it with. Mine uses the lower baud rate here. I'm guessing there's some that have the higher baud rate now. And then you'll see your information at the bottom for your thumb DV if it found it. So I'll go ahead and just call that good. Let's add a reflector. I'm going to go to REF03, there's 30. Charlie, which is the one I like to hang out on. Let's see, I also do 14 Charlie on Wednesdays, so I can listen to the Ham Nation net. I'll add that one. And I'll add 001 Charlie to listen to, and my local repeater K5R. Okay, there it is. So everything that's available you see shows up as an incremental search in the drop down list there, so that you know you've got valid entries. It supports the D plus reflectors, the X reflectors, all of them, I guess. It's very versatile. So I'll go ahead and add my local repeater. I usually hang out on the Bravo node of that one. And let's try connecting to 130 Charlie. To connect, you can select it and hit the link button down here at the bottom. To disconnect, you can click the broken link right there. Let's see if there's anybody on one of these other ones.
G4HFG, G4 Hotel, Foxtrot Golf on reflector 1 Charlie.
So we're listening to somebody on 1 Charlie, and we can see that's his call sign, G4HFG. And he's on repeater MB6CY. This little piece of software has a lot of usefulness to my thumb DV. I've kind of missed having it. I love my handy talkies, my ID51, carrying it around, but occasionally it's just not practical to use it, and this is a nice thing to fill in the blank or fill in the gap. So anyway, I hope you find it useful. It's not a very technical segment, but I know a lot of you Mac users out there and DStar users may get a little bit of use out of this. 73.
Buster DStar.
Yeah, it's a cool little program, man. Like I was telling you earlier, you just pop that thing in, it works, and if you're on the network, it works, and just plug in a pair of earbuds, and it's a little mic. You can be on DStar, sitting there right in the conference room with everybody.
That's pretty cool.
Everybody needs to DStar while they're in a conference room.
So they moved you to a Mac at work?
Yeah. They were like, my computer messed up. It's a long story about how the computer messed up, but at any rate, they were like, well, we've been getting these for the guys that need more horsepower on the computer, and that's what they ended up getting me.
Huh. So can you run Visual Studio on it?
I do have a VM Fusion, VMware Fusion on there, and I've got a Windows 10 VM, but everything on the native OS is faster.
Yeah.
So anyway, but it's a cool program. I didn't know it was there, and it works pretty nice. I thought some other people might get some use out of it.
Is it just for that particular dongle, or does it work with any of the other?
You know what? I don't remember. I think it's primarily for that one.
Okay.
It may work with the other Northwest Digital Radio board. I forget the name of it. But anyway, it's out there on the App Store, so you can take a look at it.
All right.
Well, you can't. The Mac users can.
True. Not that I would want to.
You should.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be back in just a moment. We've got a lot more to go yet, but first, let's get a message from one of our sponsors. Want to sign up for the digital revolution and explore a whole new world of amateur radio excitement? The new MFJ 1204 Universal USB radio interface is your ticket to easy digital operation. It's exceptionally quick to set up and use. There's no complex wiring or connectors required. Full USB plug-and-play connectivity, powered by USB port, so no external power supply is required. Dedicated onboard sound card, so your computer sound system is not used. Works with all digital modes using any of dozens of freely available downloadable programs. There's a complete line of interface cables to fit most popular radios, and it's perfect for base station, portable, or Go Kit applications. Ham radio's digital era continues to expand as new modes emerge, and the good news is that you don't need to buy a lot of fancy new equipment to join the fun. All it takes is your existing radio, a computer, some free downloadable software, and a sound card-equipped USB interface like the MFJ 1204 to get started. The MFJ 1204 stands out because it's faster to set up and easier to use than any other USB interface on the market. The unit comes with no solder jumpers, pre-installed, and a cable designed to fit your radio model. If you change radios in the future, simply order a new cable for it and move a few simple jumpers. Connect the MFJ 1204 to any available USB port on your computer and plug the appropriate interface cable into the back of your radio and you're on the air. No need to disconnect a microphone or fumble around with multiple patch cords. Convenient front panel controls for quick receive and transmit levels. The MFJ 1204 supports virtually every data and digital voice mode available today. Whether you're thinking about exploring digital operations for the first time or you're a seasoned veteran, you'll find the compact MFJ 1204 an exceptionally user-friendly and simple-to-use solution. To get on your way to enjoying the digital modes, visit MFJEnterprises.com today. And you know, Tommy, there's a special event coming up at MFJ in September.
Oh, yeah. I'm planning on being there.
It's the, I believe it's the 29th and 30th.
Yeah. Day in the park.
45th anniversary of MFJ Enterprises.
Wow, 45 years, man.
Yep. They're going to have a celebration there at a park in Starkville, Mississippi. I went to this one 5 years ago. Actually, I was at one before that, too. If you remember the MFJ factory tours, they give those when they're doing this ARRL Day in the Park event at Starkville. We're encouraging you, if you can, go to Starkville, Mississippi, September 29th, 30th. Sign up and go. It's free. You get a free meal with it as well, and you get free factory tours of all the MFJ factories.
Yeah, you know, those factory tour videos that you did, those things got a lot of views.
Oh, yeah.
You can go see that stuff in person.
Yeah.
So put that on your calendar, so it'll be a pretty big time.
I'm looking forward to going there again. You know, it's.
I missed the last two.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to miss this one.
Okay. You might even see ham seating chicken there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that, too.
I'm sure Arnie is going to be there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's got to. That's right there in his backyard.
Do they actually do a station that we can contact?
Yeah, they'll have a station on the air, but Emile, you're so close, you just ought to come on up.
Come on, go with us.
Yeah.
You can contact them in person.
Yeah, you can.
Is that a mode?
Yeah, handshake.
He has special cards for that. It's if you talk to Martin, he'll give you an eyeball QSO card.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
Well, in 5 years' time, it'll be the 50th anniversary, which should be quite an awesome celebration.
Yeah. You have to come over for that one, Peter.
I was just thinking about that. It could well be on the cards.
It'd be pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Where's Starkville, by the way?
About an hour and 30 minutes north of here?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
It's not very far.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get to come on by. You can get a tour of the Amateur Logic studios in person, too.
Yeah.
That'd be great. And from memory, I believe if you go north from your way, you end up in Memphis. So that's worth visiting as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You can go see the King.
Yep.
The man, yep. Oh, but no, we got the King on our show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rock and Ray.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Well, you know, the Amateur Logic hat has really been making the rounds, Tommy.
It has.
And we've got some more photos here. These at John Baggett, K2 BAG. I don't know if he's in the chat room tonight. He might. Yeah, he's in there. He managed to capture it in the wild a few more times.
That thing gets around. Oh, wow.
Yep. Google in San Francisco. Who would have ever thought Yeah, I don't know if he was, how he captured, if he was doing a Google search or what was going on. But
Even a hat can Google it.
even a hat can Google it, yeah. There were, well, it's really been all over the place. Here's one right here. This is from Vegas, the NAB show. The ham radio operators reception, you know, we've been to that
been
before.
to that many times.
Yep. It was there. You can see it right up in the
Yep.
top left-hand corner there, hanging out in front. That's not the only appearance in Vegas. Here's another one right here. I see that prize there. I'm thinking maybe John won that. I don't know if he did or not, but
What does it say? I can't read it.
it's
too good from
a gift card from Hank Landsberg. You remember Hank?
here. The name's familiar.
Henry Engineering?
Oh, Henry. Okay, Henry Engineering. I do
Yep.
remember that.
It's hanging out there with the most coveted prizes.
And there's the hat right there with it.
Yep. And then there's one more here. It's Rockin' Ray.
Speaking of Rockin' Ray,
Yep. And
he looks proud to be holding that hat too.
He does, doesn't he? Well, he was up in the ham radio reception there, you know, with the
Yeah.
Amateur Logic hat. What more could you want?
I mean,
And I don't think that's it. I think there's another one after it left Vegas. Where do you think it might pop up?
there's no telling with that hat.
Mr. Bones.
Mr. Bones in Detroit.
Awesome. Oh no, he's probably good walking around by now after wearing the hat.
Yeah. And by the way, that's not real bones there, although it's named Mr. Bones. I think those are plastic bones, maybe.
Plastic bones, 3D printed.
No, it could be. And then the hat went back home. Where do you think home would be? Coney
wow.
Island Beach Boardwalk.
Oh, cool.
Hanging out right there with all the other hats.
I didn't know they were distributing the hats for us there.
Oh, yeah, it's at all the theme parks. And then there's one other here, and somehow I lost the location of this, but it looks pretty scary.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I don't know if that was in San Francisco or where that was, but the earth was tilted a little bit at that location, as you can tell.
I don't know. Is that down near LA, near the tar pits and
Oh,
stuff?
it could be, I guess. Yeah.
It
don't
kind
know.
of looks like LA, but it's been so long since I've been there. John may tell you he's probably in there. I don't have it on the chat right now. So.
Yeah. San Francisco. Okay.
It's a Jurassic ham.
Yep. Hey, you know, even
It's a saber tooth.
the best known prehistoric creatures would be proud to don a
We've been
Amateur Logic.
We've been
hat.
doing Amateur Logic that long. It just doesn't seem like that long.
Well, some days it does. This is not one of them, though.
No.
And it's not only the Amateur Logic swag that's being seen out in public these days.
Yeah, the Ham College stuff's getting around too. This is Patrick, VE6PRM. I actually just got this today. He says he went to get ready in the park wearing his Ham College sweater. Was going to show off his Ham College t-shirt, so he's actually got both of them. And anyway, that's a picture of him in front of the Northern Alberta radio trailer at the event. That's a emergency preparedness event that they have up there. So anyway, he was representing well. I'm sure he was the best looking, or at least the sharpest dressed guy there. Maybe the best looking guy there.
Yeah.
But anyway, appreciate you representing for us.
And he was warm, too.
Yeah, and warm.
I think you need the sweatshirt up.
No, yeah, at that temperature, no doubt.
Yeah.
But
That was a serious looking trailer there.
Well, that was, wasn't it?
yeah, it sure was.
Man.
He was running 7100 in there.
Cheap old man compliant?
No.
No.
That's okay though. It's still a winner.
Yeah.
That's right. Serious business.
Yeah.
So if go ahead.
No.
If you wanted to get a hat or a Ham College or Amateur Logic shirt or any swag, where would you find that, Tommy?
You could go to AmateurLogic.Spreadshirt.com.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Boy, that is timely.
A store just dedicated to.
Yeah, and that's not a theme park.
No,
like
it's
the
not.
Other,
No,
like
it's
some
not.
of the other outlets.
Yeah. You can get it from the convenience of your own home.
From your own computer or someone else's computer.
Wow.
But yeah, you can get them there. And we got a little giveaway coming up too. You want to talk about that now, or are we going to wait till later?
Oh, we can talk about it now.
Okay.
You know, we're going to Dayton Hamvention, Thursday. We'll be heading out Thursday.
Yeah.
And arriving up there, and we're looking forward to a great year at is it the Greene County Fairground?
I think it is. It's in Xenia, Ohio.
They've moved the location, so we're looking forward to it. And to celebrate, we're going to be giving away some of these right here. It's the AmateurLogic commemorative faux gold PL259.
Yep. So for everybody that has an AmateurLogic or Ham College shirt, hat,
swag,
some of the swag, whatever.
Yeah.
We just want people representing there.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a lot of viewers and kind of like to show them off a little bit. So
and we don't have a lot of connectors.
Well, there's more where those came from.
We'll probably have to buy some more.
But anyway, get your gold PL259 or faux gold PL259. Be sure and come up and say hi to us and anyway,
show us your swag.
Show us your swag. And hopefully we can get a picture from you to show on the show also while everybody's together there. We're looking forward to meeting a lot.
While supply lasts.
While supplies last.
But we're planning on picking up more
They're still
supplies.
making more, so. I thought we had more than those here, but anyway, we're good.
Well, they just kind of like evaporated, in the bag down there.
Your daughters have been wearing them.
Yeah.
That's good jewelry items.
Okay. So, enough of that. I think Emile's got, he's got an email.
Email?
Email's email.
I got a post from in the Google Plus community from our friend over there, Rodney Spencer, AE7QT. He wrote to us, "Hi guys, in episode 98, Emile was asked, what would the cheap old man do with the crime seam tape? I would suggest you could make a cheap lab coat out of it. ICOM had some white ones that they made, I remember that, and with the ALTV printed on them. This would be the red lab coat edition," he says. And my favorite part of the whole post was that at almost no cost. So anyway, 73 from Rod AE7QT. I think that there you go. I just flipped back to the video. That's it. I think that would make a great red edition of the coat, and especially at no cost.
I should have grabbed a screenshot of it. Ray was wearing a coat like this.
Yeah, we made it. We made it for him.
Yeah.
But he popped through this. He goes to the gym.
Yeah.
So he was able to get out of this pretty easy.
Yeah. That's okay.
What were we trying to hang on to? 7,300 or something?
Yeah. So, got another good use for some of the crime seam tape here. We're down to 2 rolls, Tommy.
Oh, yeah?
And I know we're going to be using some of this stuff at field day again this year.
Yeah.
So, that will...
we're going to have to ration out that last roll.
Yeah, probably so. Well, Emile, what are you going to show us this month?
Well, I got bit by the rat.
Oh, my goodness.
The D-Rat. Local ham who runs a rat flector on his Raspberry Pi, Glenn, KG5CEN. In fact, he's in the chat room. We decided to get together. He's the server side, I'm the client side. We got together and made it work and put it through its paces to do everything we could make it do for MCOM on Aries, and I was surprised.
I was surprised too.
I'm looking forward to seeing this.
That's some good pie. KG5CN, KE5QKR.
This is KG5CEN. Go ahead.
All right. Good morning, Glenn. I guess I wanted to take some time and show the people about your rat flector and how we can use it over RF and how to set things up on the basics.
since you got that service on your end, if you have some time. Over.
Roger that. I've got everything set up over here and ready. The Ratflector normally runs on the internet in a practice mode, but during times of emergency, we can hook the DStar radio up to it on a base station antenna over here and actually put the Ratflector on the air, and it can act as a bridge between people in the field and people on the internet to send and receive emails, to send files, and do some other neat stuff. So it's on the air right now, and we can go ahead and test it out.
Okay, Emile, this is Glenn, KG5CEN. We're here to show you the setup that we're using for running DRATs on an ICOM radio. When you have an emergency and you lose internet capability, the DStar radio has the capability of becoming the becoming the internet for you. And sometimes the solution is as easy as Pi, a Raspberry Pi, that is. This little computer is what's running our DRAT's Ratflector. We hook normally to the internet, and the reason we do that is for practice. For everyone that is going to use the Ratflector, they need to get their setup put together properly. They need to make sure that their computers are working. And then if there's an emergency, we go ahead and we hook a radio to that Ratflector. Here in slide L, I've got an ID 5100 up here. We're hooked to the Ratflector with an ICOM OPC 2218LU data cable. And give me just a second here and we'll show you our setup. Oh, by the way, Emile, you hear me talking a lot of times about my indoor radio tower. This is it over here. My mag mount 2-meter antenna on a set of popcorn tins. This is my 2 cents worth here. Cheap old man approved, of course. This is the setup that we're using for the Ratflector. We've got the DStar radio hooked up. The Ratflector is on the flat screen TV. Going through the internet is my PC over here that's also running DRATs without a radio. So I was going from the internet to the Ratflector, and the ID 5100 was then broadcasting it over the air on a base antenna. What's actually running the Ratflector is right here, a little Raspberry Pi. We got a direct link to a router. We've got the connection to the television set. We've got the power supply, and we've got the DStar data cable. This is the conversation we were having. I was actually typing it on the PC. It was being transmitted to the Ratflector over the internet again, and then it showed up over here on the big screen television, which then fed it to the ID 5100 and broadcasted it over the air. This can be done through a repeater. It can be sent through a reflector if the repeater or reflector owners permit it to go through, or we can set up simplex like we were doing and just have it local from radio to radio. And you can have multiple people on it at the same time. We've done this demonstration before with 4 of us connected to the one Ratflector, and transmitting files and chatting back and forth, sending emails and sending the forms. You can see the Ratflector is running on the Raspberry Pi. You can see the little Pi symbol up in the corner there.
Alright, so here I'm going to go to the computer and send them a message right here. Let's see if you can see that. This is, you can see there it's set up to the IC9100 as the port, and I say this is a test, and I hit over on this side send button, and the radio is going to transmit that out, and I've got a receipt from him. In fact, he's sending me that. Alrighty, Glenn, did you get that test? I see you sent me another message, or at least your ID. Okay, I think I got that reply, and yeah, I think I was keying up while your station was IDing or something. I might have doubled with it over.
Roger that. Yeah, the Ratflector is working right now, dual purpose. It's all on the internet and it's on DStar, doing DV. So if you should make sure you're just on RF right now while we're doing this test, because if you're on both, it's gonna come up on both sides. Over.
Okay, yes, roger that. Good point. I went ahead and disabled all of the internet connections in the preferences under radio, so that the only port available is 9100. So it's forcing the traffic to basically go over the air only. And I do see your station along with the mail drop in the DRAT software, so it's working over the air for sure. Alright, on the computer side here, I've set up my radio as the only station, the only Ratflector or thing to worry about. It's on, my particular one is on COM 10 at 9600 baud to the ICOM. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead, I can see KG5CEN up here. I'm going to go ahead and ping his station since it is reflecting there. And the radio will actually send out a ping, and his radio is actually replying to me now, and you can see there it came back over the air and replied. It said he was online with a little message that he put that you can set up for the ping. So that's just to show that it's working over the air via DStar. So another feature of the software is a very similar email interface, where most people in the public would recognize the basics like the inbox, outbooks, read, sent, trash, etc. And the software has that capability built in, again, either via the internet or via the air. And since my station is registered over the air with his via the frequencies here, the VHF, point to point, it's going to find me, and I'll receive that message that he sends because I'm basically registered as on the air via the radio here, which is ports. You know, the port the 9100 ICOM is set up as a COM port. As the radio cycles back and forth, it's basically sending packets, and my station is replying to his station, acknowledging the packets, or, you know, there's some error correction in there via the DStar protocols. You can see there, that's probably the bulk of the message. And eventually, there's a status here. You can see the status. It gives you, you know, how much is coming through. You can see it received 100% there. And eventually, that message, I think there's another status indicator here at the bottom of the window. You can see the port there, IC9100 receiving, and message, there you go, message number 5 received from KG5CEN. So I can go up through now to the messages section, and you'll see I have
KG5CEN.
Emile.
If you got a printer available, print that out. It'll come out as a ARRL radiogram. Over.
All right, roger that. Yeah, I'm filming right now, in fact. Just saw the acknowledgement, the status messages where it went up to 100%, and also the receipt of a message from you. So, okay, you send me a form in a style of ARRL radiogram. That's also good to know, that the forms work over this medium. Good stuff. KE5QKR. If we go ahead and read that message, it does indicate it is a routine radiogram. So you can see there's some functions built into this. That's the radiogram, where it came from and what it is, along with the test where he's asking me, is this cheap enough for me? You must be a fan. and roger that, Glenn. Just to reply to your message, it was cheap enough for me. Over.
Roger, I thought you'd like that. KG5CEN.
Okay, another feature of this system, of the DRATS software, is the ability to transfer binary. And you can see here, since his stations are online, I can connect to his station, KG5CEN, via the IC9100 port, and then transfer files. That's the list of his files on his station in his DRAT software or computer where he's pointed to be those files. So that is something we can transfer back and forth to each other, also through the software, via the air or the internet, either one, whichever one is working at the time. Alright, so the file is downloaded from his reflector or station to mine, and there's a path setting that you can choose for DRAT's shared documents, but here is the document intact that made it over to my station. So works fine, error free, and it just works.
We had a lot of fun with that. I got to tell you, I was pretty amazed at just the function. You know, we did leave off one more feature of that software, and it's similar to what everybody's familiar with on the mapping. You know, like APRS. There's a map function built into that software that you can also track where the other stations are, even if they're on the air only RF. And that's one of the keys. Whether the internet's there or not, it'll work either on RF or the internet, or both simultaneously. That's pretty key for emergency operations.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I wonder how many connections that Raspberry Pi would support.
Yeah, okay. Glenn and I had a simplex-based roundtable with about 4 hams here, and we were all talking while the rigs were basically negotiating those packets, sending them back and forth into DV mode. So it's pretty robust. Of course, it's not fast. It's not high speed. It's not really a replacement for an internet connection. But all the functions there, and if you can focus your messages on small sized bits of information, you know, key information, that's a valid solution for any ARES or emergency need.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was very cool stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks to KG5CN, by the way. He's in the chat room.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks,
yeah. Nice job, Glenn. Appreciate your help on that. It's really cool.
Very nice. Okay, we're going to take another break, pay a few bills, and I've got a video for you.
Okay.
And then we've got something special coming up that not even you know about.
Okay, I'm getting nervous now.
It's a double secret probation.
Double
type
secret.
of thing.
Okay.
Adventures await, a new radio, giveaways, and a trip to Japan. May is full of excitement at ICOM. You don't want to miss out. A compact and smart design, the ID4100A is the perfect DStar companion for all the journeys ahead. Its intuitive interface, variety of operating modes, and Bluetooth capability make this the perfect DStar option for adventure seekers. Integrated GPS receiver, new dot matrix display for enhanced DR mode and GPS information, terminal mode and access point mode, applications for iOS and Android devices, and a micro SD card slot for voice and data storage. Calling all hams. Enter the ICOM America Hams to Japan sweepstakes today for a chance to win an ICOM radio or even an unforgettable experience to attend the 2017 Tokyo Ham Fair. Make sure you come back and enter each week to be eligible for each radio drawing. You don't want to miss out on this sweepstakes. Visit icomamerica.com/amateur for more information on ICOM radios.
And that is, that's a nice contest. I would like to go to that.
Yeah, no kidding. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, I take it we would be eligible to enter, George.
Yeah, I would think so. But
I would imagine,
yeah.
but
yeah. But hey,
do you guys know when the Tokyo Ham Fair is actually on?
I don't think it showed
I don't
there.
recall. I don't
remember.
It shouldn't be too hard to find with a quick Google search.
Yeah, I don't.
Be
think
sure to
it's-
wear your hat though when you do the Google search.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay, I promised you a video. Here is some testing that I did with the MFJ Receiving Loop.
Cool.
And, well, I'll just say I didn't do all the testing I wanted to, but the testing I did do, I was kind of surprised.
You know, the people at MFJ Enterprises make a lot of different amateur radio products. I'm going to look at one today that has had my interest up for a while. It's the MFJ 1886 Receive Loop. They recently upgraded the preamp in this antenna, and I wanted to see how well it worked. The antenna is 36 inches of aircraft-grade aluminum. It's very portable. It's lightweight, so you can install it with TV hardware, and it has really deep knolls to it. The MFJ 1886 covers from the AM broadcast band up through 30 megahertz, possibly a little beyond that. So it's a good all-around receive antenna. The new preamp is nicely laid out. Power is fed to the preamp by a BIOS tee that you install in your shack. I decided to try receiving some AM broadcast stations and see how the antenna performed. The first one is WABG radio, which is about 75 miles north of me. I actually have a history with this station. I worked for a television station that co-owned this radio station back in the early 80s. It's 1,000 watts daytime, non-directional, 500 watts directional at night. We're listening during the daytime, so it's 1,000 watts at 75 miles away. We'll begin trying to receive it with my 80-meter loop. All we see there is noise. No hint that there's even a radio station there. Let's switch it over to my 40-meter off-center fed dipole and try it. Same results. Now let's switch over to the antenna 2 port of my IC7700 where the loop is connected. Well, that's not exactly a local signal, but listenable. Another quick check of my 80-meter wire antenna. No comparison. The next station we're going to visit is KAAY in Little Rock, Arkansas. This station is on 1090. It's 50 kilowatts daytime non-directional and 50 kilowatts at night directional. When I was a kid, you could hear this station just barely tell it was there in the daytime, and at night it was one of the strongest stations on the dial. This station is located about 200 miles away. As before, let's begin by switching back and forth between my 80-meter loop and my 40-meter off-center fed dipole. Now let's switch over to the MFJ Receiving Loop.
That is www.walkthroughthefreedom.org. AM 1090 KAAY. I adopted Bethel in 2010 from the shop. A lot of people.
You might be wondering, how directional is this antenna? Well, it is pretty directional. You can completely null out a station with it.
The CNE News Top 10 Weekly Countdown.
Well, we have one more look back at May of 1984 this week on the CNE News. Here are the good ones with Look For Me.
And as I forget to do quite often, I left up my 2-meter rig while I was recording this. And let's try one more AM station before we go. This is WSJC in McGee, Mississippi on 810. This station is 50 kilowatts non-directional during the day. It's about 45 miles away. This time the station's actually strong enough that we can hear it on my 80-meter loop antenna. And let's compare that with the 40-meter off-center fed dipole. And now the MFJ Receiving Loop.
It's a big pool of water and it's very hot. It may take a year or two for it to actually cool back into a solid, for the whole pool to cool back into a solid. So what David was saying is, if you, on the basis of their evolutionary theory, if you have a huge pool of magma, granitic magma, 10 miles down in the earth, and it's 50 miles wide.
I think it's pretty obvious that the MFJ 1886 receive loop works well on the AM broadcast bands with ground wave signals. I really haven't tried it much at night on Skywave to see how it performs there, and I have not tried it much on the HF band yet either. If you've got a noise situation, this antenna will help you null out the interference and bring in the signal that you want to hear. What do you think about that?
I think that's pretty awesome.
That is.
It's impressive, man.
Like I said, I really didn't try it on the ham bands. I didn't have time. I'm going to. You would think, though, if it works that well on the AM broadcast bands, that as you go up in frequency, it's, it's going to work.
I'd like to have a good receive antenna. You know, I've got my off-center fed, but I get basically what you're getting there with what you were showing.
Yeah. The first station that I don't remember it was the first one, but the station I used to work at that I tried to receive there, I could pick it up a number of years ago here, just barely. And then I hadn't been able to pick it up at all in a long time, and that thing just...
Yeah, well, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
They just curious, is that station still in the same old building that you showed?
It is.
Really? That's
It
cool.
is. When I worked there, that was just a transmitter building, but now it's a studios and transmitters, I think. Oh. It's a different owner than when I worked there.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, I promised you something a little...
Yeah, I noticed my waiter came and brought an empty glass and left it on my...
Yeah. Two frosted glasses of ice there.
Yeah, just in time. It was getting kind of warm in here.
I wonder what that could mean.
It means that they forgot to fill them up.
Well, what that means is I don't think he's in the chat room tonight. You remember our friends Simon, ZL2FAE?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Simon and Carla. Him and his wife. I remember them very well. Nice guy. I
had lunch. Well, it wasn't lunch. It was breakfast with Simon. Was it Thursday morning?
Yeah. It was Thursday.
Yep.
I think. And that was when I was on the way home.
He brought with him some New Zealand swag.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Now, I don't know if it's as nasty as that Australian swag or not, because I have not tried it yet, but we're about to.
Okay.
So, the first item he brought this to me, but I'm going to share it with you. This is L&P.
Oh, yum. Yum, yum, yum.
Good lemony stuff.
Yep. We can get it in Australia. L&P. Yep.
Lemon
and Paroa.
It's lemon and what?
Piranha.
Paroa.
Oh,
Paroa.
Paroa. Paeroa. Paroa.
Paroa. It's in a. Although it looks like a beer bottle, this is plastic. It's non-alcoholic, I assume.
Mm-hmm. Yep, non-alcoholic.
Real cool. Let's try it.
It's
That's
carbonated.
pretty nice, Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking forward to seeing them. I saw they had came through Houston, Texas, and I was watching to see if he was going to make it up through Dallas and see if I could get in touch with him. But
Yeah.
he cut over here this way.
Okay, so it's obviously carbonated.
Yeah. It's got a good head to it.
It smells good. It smells lemony. Thus the name.
I'm still trying to figure out what the P is.
Look, it's transparent. too.
Paroa, whatever that means. I may have to put my AmateurLogic hat on and Google that.
Smells
What
like
is that,
Sprite.
Peter?
I forget. I'm not sure whether it's the name of the town where they actually take the mineral water from, or whether it's actually
That's good.
there it is. Somebody said Paroa, carbonated mineral water made in Paroa, New Zealand. So there you go.
Location, okay.
It kind of makes you think of Sprite a little bit, but it's more lemon. More
Yeah.
lemony.
Yeah, I think it's a little more lemony than Sprite.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Great to wash down with a Vegemite sandwich.
I don't know about that. That would just kind of. I don't know.
A sandwich? That's pretty dangerous. It's already dangerous enough just to spread a little on some toast.
Oh, fella.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, that is pretty good stuff. Well, I got one other thing here. This he sent to my wife, but I managed to sneak it out of the house.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. This is
Oh, same thing.
Whitaker's. The lemon and Paroa white chocolate.
Oh, cool.
Infused with LNP, bursting with popping candy. Is that what it says?
Yeah, popping candy.
I didn't see that earlier.
Well, we have to ask because of the chat room here. Peter, do you like that candy?
I've never seen that in Australia. That's entirely new to me. But I have had various kinds of popping candy. But I don't know
What is popping candy? It's
You're
like
about
Pop
to find
Rocks?
out.
Oh, I've had Pop Rocks when I was a kid.
Well, the reason I asked that question is because John in the chat room said if Peter likes it, run.
No, I'm not that keen on it. But put some in your mouth and let's see what happens.
It smells kind of lemony.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
It smells good. Is it popping?
Mm.
It's after you swallow it when it pops.
No pop. It's kind of like a lemon drop.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
Oh, it's popping.
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it?
It's good. It tastes really good.
Yeah,
It's not popping like those Pop
like
Rocks,
Pop
like they explode, but you can feel like almost like carbonation bubbles a little bit. It's good though.
Is it popping good? Popping good candy.
Mm-hmm. It almost tastes like the cream inside those lemon sandwich cookies.
28% cocoa. I wouldn't have guessed it had a white chocolate in it, though.
I hear it popping in my ears.
Yeah, you have to stop chewing to hear the popping.
Pops 12 hours later, somebody said on there. Alfred.
Mix that and the soda together. I don't know. It seems like it's pretty good, but I guess we'll have to see what it does to the digestive tract.
Still popping.
And he said something for you too, Tommy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, I should have warned you guys about eating New Zealand food and drink. It does have a slight side effect. It does actually cause you to develop a bit of an accent. And so instead of getting, say, fish and chips, you end up saying mushroom chops.
What have you got?
Here, I'll
Right there.
Oh, here we go. It's Manuka. Manuka.
I hate to ask.
Smoking chips. It's for smoking.
It looks like it would clog up your bone, though.
You have to roll it up in the paper. But that's cool, man. I can't wait to try that out. We have a couple of smokers at home that we like to use, and I was talking to him on the Facebook one day about that. He had asked something about the smoking stuff. So that's pretty awesome. Thanks, Simon. Appreciate that. I'll have to smoke something and bring it over here.
I think he said
before we do one of the shows.
You will. I think he said you don't need to use a lot of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
But
I'm curious to know what the smoke flavor or smell is.
Yeah.
We do a lot of that here too.
I wonder if
it's like Manuka.
That explains it.
Whatever that is. Did it show up there? I guess you switched
I
it
should
earlier.
explain, guys. I should explain. If my memory serves me correct, right? Manuka is actually a type of plant, right? And what they do is they make what they call Manuka honey, which is a form of honey that the bees go to these Manuka plants, and it's supposed to have really, really good like antibacterial properties or antiviral properties, really good for the stomach. So it's sold very much as a health food. So I suspect you'll probably end up with a honey flavour to that.
It says it's good for fish, poultry, meats, olives, cheeses, mushrooms, etc. Suitable for use in fish smokers, kitchen smokers, and barbecues. That's cool.
Yeah,
I can't wait to try that.
Yeah. Tom in the chat room is saying the same thing. Good flavor with meats and fish.
It's sealed up so tight I can't really smell it. That's awesome. Thanks, Simon. I can't wait to try that out.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'll smoke something and bring it over here before.
We'll have to bring
maybe
us
the next
something.
Amateur Logic.
Yeah.
Either that or I bring a smoker and we'll smoke something at field day.
Okay.
It's electric.
This is a no smoking show.
That ought to work.
Electric smoker.
Yeah, I've got an electric one.
I use my Weber. You know those little round.
Yeah.
Remember from episode 30 something? It doubles as a parabolic reflector.
Yeah.
Yep. Good for microwave.
Cool. Well,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for sending all that stuff. That's
So-
great.
now we've had a taste of New Zealand.
Yep.
Thanks, Simon. And we will be seeing him next weekend.
At least by Friday.
At least by Friday. Yep.
Yeah.
At Ham Bench, and we've seen him. I don't know if he goes every year, but most every year, I think.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think he was there last year.
he may not have
He
been.
was there the year before. Maybe it's every other year. But yeah, super nice guy.
All right, and I'm hoping we'll run into, some of the viewers there. Well, I know we'll run into some of the viewers.
Oh yeah, that's
Ham
that's
Bench.
what I was saying. That's the best part of going to the thing.
Yep.
Getting to put a face to some of the people you see in the chat room, the emails, and on the air.
Yep.
Social media. You can find us on the Facebook group at facebook.com/group/AmateurLogic.TV. And Google Plus is, where's Google Plus, George?
Google Plus is on Google. Plus.google.com and do a search for Amateur Logic
Or Ham College.
or Ham College.
Yep, and we're also on Twitter. We have @AmateurLogic and @Ham College.
And it's going to be huge.
It's going to be huge.
Huge. I tell you.
One thing I'm just going to say is if we have data there, kind of stay tuned to those social network places there and hope to post some footage or pictures or something of the new site at the Hamfest.
Yeah.
And we'll be getting some segments and stuff for sure for a show
We'll have
to
video.
follow. But I'm going to try to take some things and post a few live things as well as we go through it, if we have data.
Yeah.
So hopefully we do at the new place.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they handle the outside, like the flea market.
Yep, that'll be interesting too. Now, of course, our show notes wiki, thanks to Dan and 9LVS for doing that.
Oh, yeah, he does a great job on that.
AmateurLogic.TV/wiki. Find out what we've talked about in previous episodes. And, well, I guess that's going to do it for another month. We'll see you back around the 15th of the month. Next month. We'll see you around the end of this month for the next Ham College.
Yep.
And there we're going to be winding up our studies for the amateur technician exam in the U.S. here.
Yeah, this will be the last one, won't it?
Be the last one on technician. Then we'll be moving on to general. Anything else before we go?
Nope. Hope to see you guys at Dayton. If you don't go, then kind of stay tuned, and we'll try to do our best to share things as we go along.
All right. Peter, any final thoughts from down under?
Yeah, well, just to say that I'm really, really looking forward to your coverage of Dayton and just seeing how it turns out in the new venue.
Cool. Yeah, we are too. And Emile, what about from down below?
Well, 73 to everybody, and as we get closer to the hurricane seasons here, get all your stuff ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Good advice for here too.
Yeah, I got to work on my generator before field day.
You do. That's not far away, is it?
No, I'm going to be gone most of the time between now and then too. So
yeah, we're going to need that generator.
Yep.
You're not going to be able to use an electric smoker without it.
That's true. I hope to do that for real if I can. We'll see if I can work it out.
All right. Cool. All right. 73.
Yep. 73. Everybody. See you next time.
73s.
73.
Sorry, I hate to interrupt, guys. But have you actually got your cameras rolling?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I forgot. I thought we did. Yeah, my apologies. Can we do that intro again? I'm sorry.
Tastes a little dry to me.
Yeah, it's a little dry. You be careful, it'll flame up.